Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Cinder Stream. I am Lady Ariel and I am here for an astrology report. So we are going to talk about Venus retrograde in Aries, okay? So Venus was stationed retrograde in Aries on March 2nd, 2025. Now, we're going to go down memory lane, you guys, all the way back to 2017, all right? And if you have a hard time remembering what happened in 2017, I would suggest you look at old pictures from that year. You can, if you have Google Photos, any kind of memories, Facebook is a good thing, that you could use to go back and look at, what you were doing. And just going back and looking at these photos can help you, remember how you were feeling, emotionally, okay? Just to really jog your memory, all right? It's very important that you try to remember what was going on in that year because it's going to be a reflection of what's going on this year and what choices you made, okay? I'm not going to say, if you made bad choices or good choices. These were just all learning curves, all right? So Venus is the planet of love, self-love, luxury, beauty. So that is the theme around this time, okay? So in 2017, Venus was retrograde in Aries at 13 degrees, all right? For those of you guys who don't know, 13 degrees is Aries degrees, all right? So when you're going through the degrees, all right, 1 degree, okay, would be Aries, 2 would be Taurus, and so on and so forth. And you keep doing that, all right? So 12 degrees is a Pisces degrees, all right? When we get to 13 degrees, we start all over again. So it's Aries, all right? So back in 2017, it was a really, really fiery energy. So this energy was letting me know that you had to make a quick decision on something dealing with love, self-love. Like you had to put some pep in your step in this area in your life, all right? And this catapulted you to where you are at right now currently, all right? For me, just to be a little bit transparent, back in 2017, I was contemplating on whether I wanted to go through a divorce or not. I ended up going through the divorce. Of course, with any divorce, it is what it is. But the decisions that I made with going through this divorce, I am in a better position and situation right now. Of course, with children involved and everything, that's a concern, when you are thinking about leaving a relationship and whatnot. But for me at that time, I was making the best decision, okay, that I felt at that time. And it did work out for the better, okay? When you're dealing with any kind of relationship or whatever, and sometimes when you're dealing with relationships, it's difficult to know when to let go, okay? Sometimes it's like it's over. The lessons was learned. You learned what you needed to learn. The person learned what they needed to learn, and the relationship can no longer go any further, all right? If you remain in that relationship, you will start going through the same things over and over again, okay? That's how you know it's time to let it go, all right? So, again, that was in the Aries degree. It was like, okay, we got to, get to it, make up your mind, all right? So, here in 2025, we have Aries, which is in the 10 degrees, all right? So 10 degrees is a Libra degree, all right? So this is like a balance. It's like showing you, okay, you made this decision. Now, okay, you should have some kind of balance in your life at this current moment, all right? If your life is like all over the place right now, you need to go back again, like I said, and reflect on what was going on in 2017, what decisions you made. You were probably at a crossroads. You had a decision to make, and either you chose to go a certain way or you went another way. So it just all depends. It's going to be personal for everyone, all right? Now we do have Mercury retrograde that's coming up. Or are we in retrograde right now? I have to look at the dates. I don't know the dates exactly, but I know it's in March. But it is going to be in Aries as well. All right, at 9 degrees, 9 degrees Sagittarius. So with any time it's Aries degrees, you want to make sure you're not like argumentative. Of course, stand up for yourself, say what you need to say. But with it being in a Sagittarius degree, this is maybe you have a change in your beliefs. Okay, maybe you believed in how relationships should be at one point, and now it's totally changed. All right, or you may have like a mature way of thinking. Okay. Again, instead of being argumentative, you're wanting to sit down with your partner or your loved ones, a family member, parent or whatever, and you're wanting to have these mature conversations instead of them being explosive. Okay, so that is the energy. I'm gonna keep it, short and sweet because we do have a full moon coming up. All right, and I do want to do a separate video on that. And the full moon is going to actually be in Virgo. All right. So all of these tie together. And I will do a separate video about the full moon. Okay. And again, it's going to come up on March 14th. So that's right around the corner, you guys. So again, I want you all to reflect back on 2017. That's the number. 2017, that's the year. Okay. Go back. Look at old photos. Look at, how did you look? Where did you live? What relationships were you in? What partnerships were you in? Business partnership, friendships, all that. Just look into, that and reflect. If you need to journal, if you do have a diary, if you do journal, go back and look at your old journals. Okay, go back and look at your old notes and see, like, mentally, like, where were you at, like, So again, this is just an astrology report, just like the weather report, you guys. And remember, all of these energies are not something that is outside of you. It's something that is internally. Okay. Just because you're not an Aries sun does not mean you don't have that Aries energy somewhere in you in your chart. So embody, get to know all these other energies, be familiar with them. Some of them are stronger than others, but that's what makes you you. That's what makes you special. Okay. So again, you guys, go back, reflect. Okay, and I will come back with another video about this full moon. Much love to you all. Peace. I was waiting till the sky was falling, held my breath till every single star had aligned.